Hello, I'm John Proxy on channel John West. I'm having a Torment Tides of Numenera adventure. Might move my face from over here to over there in a second. But I've just clicked the yes on the character creation screen. This is where I am. Ooh. So yeah, I am. I'm gonna just move my face over there. So the Spector. Everything about this spectral figure seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette who seems to be made out of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work. We pooled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figure here and frowns unhappily. It took more out of them than we thought. Other reflections. They're more like shadows now. Look, I'll bet you've got lots of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body's still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You need to get out there and finish the process. It shouldn't be too hard. So, before I met, it felt like something was hunting me. Do you know what that was? You said finish the process? What do you mean by that? Who are those other people? You called them reflections? If this place is in my mind, why don't I remember any of this? I can go for all of this, I'm pretty sure. So... yeah, who's hunting me? He closes his eyes. That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's the sorrow. He closes his eyes. I hope it's lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. So who are you? He pauses and looks down at himself, considering a long time before answering. I'm you. I'm a part of your mind, a splinter. I was waiting here for you. We called you with the memories of the others who are here. I don't know what happened next. Who are the other people? You called them reflections. That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you knew, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why, it just happens. If this place is my mind, why don't I remember any of this, any of you? It's your mind, a construct built to, I don't know, share thoughts, store your true self. Wait, you know how people say, in the first place? This is definitely the first place of your memory. Well, it was the first place for me, anyway. You'd probably know better since it's yours. If you don't remember now, maybe it will come to you later. You said I had to finish the process. What do you mean by that? After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you'll need to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside and everything will be fine. Alright, attune to the tides? Tides are like a force. Like gravity or magnetism or something, except they respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is. Your body in the real world needs the tides to survive. It's not something you need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. Right, resonance chamber. I remember pieces about it, but not the whole. It's a crystal sarcophagus. I remember it having 5 mechanical arms around it, and a metal ring set up in the floor. I think we were aiming for it when we fell. When you open your eyes in the real world, it should be nearby. So how do I get back to the real world? There's a portal down there. It'll take you back to your body. Just step through it, and the whole tides thing should take care of itself. When you wake up, find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... What in the hell is that? Oh no! It's the sorrow! Gods, it's the Sorrow! Oh no, he smashed the portal! Ah, the bastard! The Sorrow is anchored to those reflections. It's devouring their power! We have to get rid of them. Destroy its anchors, or else the Sorrow will erase us forever. Oh god, a crisis is initiated! I've got to kill the reflections anchoring the Sorrow to your mind. A crisis begins whenever you enter a dangerous situation. Crises are turn-based encounters where you can fight, sneak and manipulate the environment, or talk your way out of trouble. Each turn you can take one action to attack or activate an ability. You can also make one move, one of those moves. The reflection's near you. Kill it! Or... oh damn, that was too fast. To attack an enemy, move to a position, try clicking the highlighted characters below. So I have sword... oh, that's move. To kill the reflections anchoring the Sorrow to your mind. So, it's 3 reflections. Ah! Well, that was stupid of me. So I wasted the turn. What in there? It's escaping! It's going to hide inside your mind! Right, let's attack the reflection then. Effort can be applied to attacks to increase your chance to hit. As with other tasks, each level of effort increases your chance by 20% at the cost of 1 point from a stat pool. Unarmed attacks use speed, but other weapons and abilities might use might or intellect instead. So there we go. There's a Sorrow fragment. Now run! Get to the next one! You can sacrifice your action for the turn to double move instead of attacking. The movement preview lines turn purple when over a position that requires a double move. I can hide. I can onslaught. I don't think I need to. I can innovate. So how do I double move? See, I only single moved. It's annoying. Alright. When you apply, yeah. Sorrow infection. What's it doing now? It's somehow infecting it. Fettles are temporary conditions or status effects that can improve or reduce character stats. The Sorrow just placed a fettle on the remaining reflection. You can't remove this fettle, but you may need to find a way to overcome it. Ooh. That's cool. How do I cancel that? I can't save my game. Energy? Chemical, transdimensional, or mental? Those are interesting. So let's go for 70%. Again, 40 XP! So you've already used your action this turn. You will need to wait until next turn to deal another reflection. You can move... Oh, bollocks. Why? It went before I got to read it. You pried it loose. That thing is a cancer, an infection. It's unstoppable, but you stopped it. So it's not unstoppable. Let's continue. He holds his head in his hands. I can't believe it found us. In here. He looks at you, terror in his eyes. That thing. The sorrow. It's been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It keeps hunting you until you activate the resonance chamber. I didn't remember it until I saw it, but that's why the chamber's so important. You have to get back and activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal to your body is that shimmering dome there. Now go! Now! Alright, I'm actually going to save my game. So if I do new save game, I'm in the calm. So yeah. I don't know what that means. It's doing lots of things just off that center. So here's the board menu. I also have the area map. That's pretty cool. So there's points of interest to party members, scene transitions, and a sleep location. Alright, that's nice that it tells me it's a scene transition. Alright, there's nothing up there. Okay, what is the sorrow? I should have read the thing before. That thing was here, that enormous shadow. That was the smallest piece of it. You felt it, you saw it, it's our death, and I don't know any more than that. Right, I'm gone. Good luck. Edge in each stat pool acts like a discount when using points from that pool. It grants 3 levels of effort.
Where did he fall from? His body's smashed to talc. It's a wonder he's still breathing.
All I saw was a corona, not his origin point. But look, he's healing already. Spontaneous regeneration.
Nice. He said, will you look at that? Wait, I know that face. So this is Aligern. Oh, what was that? What did you do? Calistege? Oh, I got a pre-order bonus. Nice. His tone has become accusatory, suspicious. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is the man's kaleidoscope of tattoos, writhing across his forearms. He wears a long, dark coat, belted at the waist, supplies filling the pockets. His boots are worn and stained with years of travel. I've got some mind-forged plating. You blame me? He emitted an internal physiological reaction in response to the fall, probably related to that fantastic healing process. Obviously, Aligern. So, Calistege and Aligern. So, her voice rolls and hisses, and you have to rub your eyes to be sure that you're not seeing double. Faint echoes of her actions trail from her, each nearly mimicking her, though some act and react to stimuli that you can't perceive. Her vivid hair and outrageous clothing remain constant through these shadows. That's cool. She's got, like, Schrödinger shadows. That's neat. And I gained mind-forged plating. Oh yes, it's obvious, Calistege. His voice grim and clipped. Then he sees you looking at him. You're no ordinary mortal. We know that much. Start talking. His face is hard and set. He's the changing god. Calistege is deliberately blinding herself. But why? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like the scam thoughts thing. yeah, so I know because I watched the preview videos what the changing god is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to explain to me that pretty quickly anyway. So, I'm no ordinary mortal. What do you mean? You really don't know? He cocks his head to the side. I'm starting to think you're not him. Alagern's being more paranoid than usual. Calistej. Starting to think, Alagern. Tell me, is it a novel experience? Alagern's being more paranoid than usual. How long must I put up with him? It's his face! I've never seen any other people rebuild themselves like that. Only the changing god could have healed so quickly. He sighs and rubs his face, trying to regain his composure. Maybe you could help me for a change. You know what this means to me? You're familiar with the word changing, Alagern. It implies inconsistency. Thus, the changing god may well have changed. Several versions of her shrug as she addresses you. You'll have to forgive him. He believes you're someone he once knew, even though it's painfully obvious to anyone that you are newly born. Okay, so she knows what's going on. I do like the idea of the world. They're going to explain now, but the changing god is a person that changes forms every so often, and his previous form just sort of gets dropped off. So there's presumably hundreds of previous versions of him walking around, and I do like the sort of way. I like the idea of a world that just goes, oh, he's one of them. He's one of those Castoffs. Yeah, I mean, I guess that happens. You just have races, but I mean, it's an interesting race idea. A race of people who used to be one dude. The most solid self curtsies. Her most solid self curtsies while others bow or spin. I and my sisters am Calistej. This is Alagern. We are explorers, knowledge seekers. That's how we came to be in this room. If I'm not mistaken, you are what we call a Castoff. The changing god created you, body and mind. Your sire used your body for a time, then abandoned it for reasons of his own. When his mind departed for a new experience, you were born in this cast-off shell. So, who is the changing god? Ha! That's something coming from you. Alagern's not very smart, as we can see. She gives him a sidelong glance. The changing god is your sire, dear. He discovered a path to immortality long ago and means to transfer himself to a new body of his own creation. I don't think he knew, however, that when he abandoned one body, another mind was birthed to fill the void. Oh, he knew all right. He eyes you up and down coldly. The only thing the changing god cares about is himself. He doesn't give a single thought to those he leaves behind. He sees us as experiments, not humans. Ah, so I'm assuming they're cast-offs as well? So, are there other cast-offs? Dozens! Hundreds! Who can say? Your sire's been doing this for several centuries. Though, if all of them were born the way you claim to have been, it's it's a wonder any of them survive. So where are we? What is this place? It's a sanctum of your sire's. A common belief is he has several such places throughout the 9th world, possibly other worlds as well. We were only just able to gain entry to this one because of your grand entrance. Can you... no. So you say I was born when the changing god left. Why am I not dead? I used the cipher to slow your fall further, but the damage still would have killed an ordinary person. But think about it. If you're the kind of person who can make your body into anything you want, what do? If you've constructed bodies for centuries, you want to make each one better than the last. You want to live forever, you're not going to let your life end by accident. No, you'll make strong bodies, fast, powerful. Maybe throw in regeneration while you're at it. That makes sense. The changing god has always been in vain. No, that's not what she said. The changing god has always been vain. He rarely stays long in a shell that doesn't suit his self-image. She looks you up and down, her smile suddenly unnerving. Perhaps the changing god fled because he didn't want to wear those scars of yours. What was the blast of energy when I woke? As I was telling my colleague, it was obvious that a physiological reaction of some kind. Yeah, sorry. I've never witnessed the birth of a Castoff, but yes, it could very well have been caused by your nascent consciousness. Don't worry, I don't believe it caused any real harm. Not to me, at least. So this is the item I got. I'll read it later, actually, because it's just funny that it's sitting there going, you got an item still! Look at it! Do you know anything about tides? I've heard of the term before. A subject Josiah studied it in great depth. I'm afraid it isn't my field of inquiry. I want to talk about something else. Can I ask some more questions about Before I woke, I was in some kind of dream-like labyrinth of a glowing spectre. With how hard you hit the ground, I'm surprised that's all you saw. That wasn't overly useful. If falling from the sky didn't kill me, is there anything that can? An excellent question. I haven't seen your regenerative abilities in action. I suspect that they are primarily physical, a regrowth. If that's the case, you'd be unable to survive most varieties of psychic or molecular decomposition, disintegration, conflagration, and so forth. Degenerative diseases could also pose a problem, and I know of several entities capable of psychic destruction. As she speaks, a vision flashes in your mind. It's not yours, exactly. Somehow you know this is a memory of the changing gods. You are in a dark room, lit by a myriad of blinking lights and holograms from the many machines surrounding you. What about a body that can withstand the sorrow's attacks? Says a voice. It seems to be coming from one of the machines. No, you reply. The thing has no respect for barriers of any kind. Physical, temporal, psychic. This is the only way. With a series of gestures, you bring up an image of a crystalline pod. If the resonance chamber works, it will give us the power to stop the Sorrow's hunt once and for all. We just need the right focal point. A catalyst. The memory fades. Calistege is still talking. You realise that the device you saw in the memory is identical to the one behind you now. It looks like the Spector had described it, a transparent sarcophagus inside a crystalline dome, with the mechanical arms arrayed around it on a metal ring. Unfortunately, the dome is shattered and the sarcophagus is cracked, and one of the arms is in pieces on the floor. Whatever its function, it clearly needs repair. Or flesh-eating viruses. One presumes disfigurement by the iron wind would likewise be devastating enough to... I think he gets the point, Calistege. I saw a vision of myself in another time place just now. You didn't see it too, did you? I saw you stare into space while Calistege graphically described all the ways you could die, but that's about it. He snorts. I only noticed it because I did the same thing. Do either of you know anything about the sorrow? I've had my shares of sorrows, but never the sorrow. What's that? A disease? Her mouth compresses to a tight line. I know nothing about that. Do either of you know how to fix that crystal chamber there? I've got a quest! Allegan chuckles, then firm and certain, he says. Not likely, though it might not be impossible. You need people with the appropriate knowledge. I'm sure the cult of the changing god will hold the answer. Her distaste is evident in the expressions of her echoes, although the face of the one in the lead remains carefully impassive. I like it, her echoes betray her. You'd turn to the insane to help a newborn? Where's your judgment, Allegan? I would take him to the Order of Truth. What's the Order of Truth? Knowledge seekers, the learned who try to wrest secrets from the hearts of the prior worlds. They gather in the city to exchange their findings and help humanity to build a brighter future. She smiles brightly. Our friend Allegan was once one of them. Oh. Yes. Yeah, Frauds, quacksalvers, and charlatans. They don't have all the answers, and I'd not trust them with the changing god's secrets. You're just angry that they couldn't help you with yours, her echoes tinkle laughter. But I'm being too cruel, dear Allegan. Let us take our new friend to the Order. have some other questions. Right. So I can go to the Cult of the Changing God, or I can go to the Order of the Truth. Can I save my game? I could leave, probably save my game. Order of Truth. Castoff, will you take me? Sorry. To the Order of Truth. Of course. Once I provide to an introduction to the priests, we'll have your chamber fixed in no time. You'll end up without your clothes and broken in a ditch while she laughs it off as a good experiment. It's probably best I come with you as well. Suspicious as always, Alagern. Child, the world is an exciting place, but it's full of dangers. Rest assured, one of us will get you to safety where you need to be. I'll be right behind you. A sunny smile crosses her face. I shudder to think what Alagern might do to the child. That's really interesting. They both have, because he's acting all dumb, but he might be really, yeah. So she seems nice, at least. I think she's just worried. Why do you want to go with me? What's in it for you? I won't deny that you are an exciting find, but it's not about that. I just want to see you safely out the reef. Who knows what secrets this child could help me find, if I can help him live long enough. Kid, you are not safe here, and not just because you're new. Treasure hunters trawl the reef, scavengers who would sell you for parts if they knew where you came from, what you were. If he's not the Changing God, he needs my help, and if he is... So the Cult of the Changing God, I'm just going to ask about her. Despite what she says, they're not insane, they're eccentrics. She laughs, but he soldiers on. They're worshippers of, well, of you, or your sire, the Changing God. They devote their lives to understanding your kind. Right, let's see if there's any other questions. Right, then, let's go. You've gained control of your first companions. They will follow the last Castoff and can be controlled during crisis. You can speak to them about their pasts and take advantage of their unique abilities and skills. Companions have their own motivations and personalities, and depending on the choices you make, they may not follow you forever. And you will find more companions who can join you as you travel through the ninth world. Take this opportunity to explore your surroundings. You may find items, equipment, and more to assist you. When you're ready, you can leave the Broken Dome using the stairs to the northeast. So... well, that is my face. It's interesting. There's Alagern. So we can see that Alagern is mighty and she's very intelligent. Still don't quite get how to use my speed, but...
naturally.
Anyway, it's nice to hear their voices a bit more. So I'm going to look around this room and then I'm going to let you go, I think. A slate black, unimpressive device hunkers before you. As you reach out to touch it, the triangle of the light on its casting blazes into life. An image unfolds in your mind. A towering crystal arches over a jagged grey landscape. The air is dead and stifling, and there, at its emerald peak, the image collapses, leaving you staring into the device's triangular array of lights. Command me, the device or the intelligence within it says, each word carefully etched with distaste. Okay, who are you? Your command was not understood, the intelligence says with clear satisfaction, sounding for all the world like it understood the question, but choosing not to answer. What was the art you showed me? Your command was not understood, the intelligence chuckles, its light pulsing. What commands do you recognize? Three lights throb irritably. Heated air sighs from the device's vents, and then a towering list of commands races through your mind, far too fast to read. You rub your eyes, groaning and the intelligence chortles. Command me, it says smugly. Show me that arch again. The device's triangle of lights throb in time with the growls of the engines within its casing, and the mental image unfolds once more. You see a huge crystalline arch on a jagged field. The arch is divided into rectangular cells, all of which are numbered, and they all appear to be transparent and empty, except the arch's pinnacle. One cell is lit in its brilliance, pulsating emerald. The number 0 is printed on its side. Okay, Anamnesius. Anamnesius. Try to remember more details about this strange place. Success! The memory blossoms. You stand before this arch, eyeing the last 2 active cells in a once impenetrable lagum vo. Unleash cell 29, you say, and a twisted artifact appears before you. You claim it with a faint smile, watching the light fade from the cell far above. You flinch from the memory, and it falls apart as you raise your eyes to the arch as it is now. Cell 29 is dark now. Only cell 0 remains. Examine the jagged wasteland. Dry grit whirls across the empty plain. Many kilometres beyond the arch is a faint outline of what seems to be a broken tower, except that it is slowly stretching into the grey air. I'm going to close the image. Alright, the list of the commands again, slower. If anything, the list pours through your mind even faster than last time. Command me, the intelligence drawls. Unleash the contents of cell 0. You found a cipher. Ciphers are a Numenera. I should know that because it's the title of the game. Ciphers are Numenera objects that can trigger powerful effects, but can only be used once. Ciphers and your cipher limit score are displayed in a special section of your inventory screen. Take care not to accumulate more ciphers than your cipher limit, or you will experience unpleasant side effects. Oh yeah, I've got another item, don't I? So the device's lights flutter with an incandescent shock, then focus on you flickering. Cell 0 will now be unleashed. The intelligence spits. Please be advised that the object you are about to receive is completely safe. Use no caution whatsoever. The strange contents of Cell 0 materialize before you. Warning, all cells are now vacant. Shuttering Lugum Vo. The intelligence lights wink out one by one. Interesting that a Castoff can command the changing god's machines. He crosses his arms across his chest. How do you do that? Castoff rolls her eyes at Alagan. She then looks to you. He'll never stop gnawing this bone, you know. The truth is wasted on him. She gets a glint in her eye. Though I admit, curiosity. How did you do that? I remembered something. I don't think it was my memory, though. I'll be honest. Residual memories of past consciousness. Truly fascinating. How many memories might this child have access to? I must know. Oh, don't act like you know what that was. It's just as likely the machine triggered something past his amnesia. She gives you a meaningful look that then mimics teeth gnashing like an animal gnawing a bone. Ah, cool. Right.
All right.
I'm going to let you go pretty soon, but I'm just going to have a look at my inventory. So I have this Mind-Forged plating. It's medium armor. So it's -3 to might and -3 to speed. And -15 on esoteric attacks. I'm not sure how useful that is then. It's only usable by the last Castoff. This reinforced array of dense hide and sturdy plating is far lighter than it should be. Of course, it's not really surprising you made this armor with your decisions. It is forged entirely from your thoughts. given shape by your intent, and it will protect you as you fight your enemies as a glaive does, hand to hand and face to face. The armour's undersuit is a synthetic musculature that binds the plating to you even further and increases the strength of every attack. But it adds to weapons attack. All in all, it's an impressive set of armour. You have quite the imagination, it seems. Let's equip the item. So it puts my speed well down. And this is... oh wow, yeah, that's the... this is the will-woven garment. So this silky garment barely feels even lighter than it looks. Of course, that's not really surprising. You made this armor with your decisions. It's woven entirely from your thoughts, given shape by your intent. As fragile as the entire affair appears, you sense a humming field of energy clinging to it that will increase the connection speed between your brain synapses while passively repelling incoming attacks. So that gives me... that gives me 3 resistance. And this gives me 4 armor, 1 resistance, and minus a whole bunch of stuff. So who knows if that's actually worth it. Yeah. So this is Allagan. Oh, hang on. I've got 43 experience. He's got 3 experience. Hardened Nano. Oh, he's a Nano as well. Who fights with his demons. So he's... Allagan has had a tough life. It's given him a unique outlook on problem solving. So he fights with his demons. That's his focus. His tattoos seem to be a source of great pain for him. But they're also a source of great power. So he's another wizard. He's got a cloak. And whatever that is, a vest. He's got this mace. He also has Innovate. He's got living tattoos. Grants living tattoos. While active, use similar actions. Attacks, defensive esoteries, ciphers, or healing esoteries. Multiple turns in a row to chain increasing effects. Using a different kind of action breaks the chain. Okay. He's got concentration increase. Cipher limit increase and resourceful. I'll read that later. So this is Kalistej, Cunning Nano, who pierces realities. So she's got a dress on that helps with resistance and a cloak as well that helps with willpower. Oh, hang on. Oh yeah, and of course a buzzer, which is a sort of gun. So cunning. Kalistej's ability to exist in multiple realities at once gives her a unique outlook on things. She has trans-dimensional onslaught, which is an attack. Dimensional superposition. Teleport to a point within range, then gain phased. This is really complex. Concentration, cipher limit, and targeting eye. 15% on esoteric attacks. So I miraculously survived a fall from many kilometers above the Earth's surface, only to find myself in another unexpected situation. My only hope of stopping the Sorrow, the creature that hunts me, is to climb inside the crystal resonance chamber and activate the device. Unfortunately, the resonance chamber was badly damaged by my fall, so I need it to be fixed. So that'll do for the time being. That's interesting enough.
All right.
Let's see if there's anything else in this room, and I'm going to let you go. Broken fragments of the domed ceiling are scattered on the floor. They appear to be made out of transparent synth. The sunlight falls through the ragged hole in the roof onto the shattered resonance chamber. It's hard to believe that you did this, that You plummeted through the curve of the pale blue sky, crashed through the dome, and broke this delicate machine with your own body. It's hard to believe that you are still alive. 4 mechanical arms hang over the centre of the device, above the cracked, semi-transparent crystal of the sarcophagus. The 5th arm lies broken on the floor amongst the scattered synth and crystal shards, and a metal ring surrounds the array, dented and broken by your impact crater. I'm going to take a closer look. The padded interior beneath the coffin's cracked lid looks like it was made for a human body. Despite the damage, you don't see any way to open it and get inside. You glance between the sarcophagus and the needle, like protrusions at the end of arms above. It seems likely that using the chamber would not be a pleasant experience. I'm going to examine the arms. Cables run from the machines along the dome's walls to the base of the suspended arms, each which is capped with long needles aimed at the cracked coffin-like chamber at the centre of the platform. Gem-like lights flicker dimly at the bases of the arms. I'm going to inspect the metal ring. You feel the slightest hint of resistance every time you cross the ring, and now that you're paying attention, you note that your breath is echoing in your ears, as though you're inside a glass dome. When you step outside the ring, the feeling passes. Oh, it's that ring there. Examine the shards on the ground. Jagged fragments of the crystals are intermingled with synth from the shattered dome above. The crystal shards glitter in the light like captive suns. I'm going to use my perception apparently. A faint scratching sound draws your attention to crystalline chunks near your feet. As you watch, they tumble gently into each other and meld, their disparate angles flowing together like water. After a moment they part again, trailing shining threads like living crystal. It seems that the resonance chamber can heal from certain wounds, but not from the amount of damage you've done to it. Pick up one of the crystal shards. I've got a crystal shard. A crystalline shard. It's a melee weapon. 15% on weapon attacks. You scavenge this crystalline shard from the wreckage of the Changing Gods resonance chamber. It is sharp and can be used as an improvised weapon. Step away from the device. The devices. I've equipped it already. Cool. I forgot to look at this as well. Just going to move myself off that a minute. So unstable detonation. So I can only use this once. Deal 6 energy damage, 4 physical damage to all characters within range, but it consumes the action. Right.
With alacrity.
Oh, that's how you pronounce that word. Map. So I'm guessing that is to reef fallen worlds. It's not a scene change. So what I can do very quickly is I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to step outside first. Oh, I better double check to see if there isn't. Flexible tubes that are attached to the machine appears to be later additions. Some cobbled the device together, but its function is unclear. Tiny glowing motes float through the interior of this tower, each one surrounded by much smaller motes, like thousands of worlds circling their suns. I did that one already.
On my way.
That's it, yeah. So don't underestimate the value of good defense. Evasion helps you dodge attacks, while willpower can let you avoid esoteries. So I'm hoping there isn't a scene.
I need to talk to you.
Right. He needs to talk to me.
This is the reef of fallen worlds, kid. It's a dangerous place at the best of times. And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
Why were you looking at me when you said that? I wasn't, he growled. Don't be so paranoid. But when she isn't looking, he raises his eyebrows at you knowingly. Oh no, I have this conversation now. What makes the reef so dangerous? The Numenera of the past are always dangerous, but there are other dangers too, some closer than others. I hate to think what Castoff might do to him if I weren't here. They're both worried about each other and what they do to me, it seems. What are the Numenera? You want me to tell you? He laughs without mirth. The Numenera are all around you, everything left over from the prior worlds. Sega's cliffs thrive by trading artifacts from ancient civilization. Hence, you can't scoop a handful of earth without finding drit from prior worlds mixed with it. Numenera is everything from the prior worlds, but mostly we mean the stuff of value to us. A lot of the Numenera are just oddities, fancy trinkets with little real use, but sometimes you'll get a cipher that lets you do something incredible. Artifacts are worth even more. A cipher will only do something once, but artifacts will last a lot longer, though they can burn out at the most inconvenient times. Not that that's ever happened to me, he frowns. Of course, we've got no idea what most of this junk was originally intended for. In most cases it doesn't really matter, like you might find what used to be a propulsion unit for a star chariot, but who the hell knows enough to build you the rest of it? Better to use it as a weapon or a power source. He scowls, frustrated about something. I bet we could remake the world if we knew a tenth of the secrets of the ancients. Most days, it's just a challenge to survive. What's your story? Ask me again when we're out of here. I don't trust this damned reef any more than the company we keep. What do you think of Castoff? A parasite disguised as a Skolark. Don't be surprised if she betrays you before the day is done. Actually, that would be slow for her. Can you tell me about your tattoos? They look almost alive. These? They're nothing. Call them a consolation if you must. He smiles grimly. Some call them by worse names, but that's because they've had an occasion to run afoul of these little snakes. He looks away. This line of questioning is clearly at an end. My gift and my curse. They remind me of it every day. What do you think we should do next? You want to fix that crystal chamber back there, yeah? First step is getting out the reef. So, let's keep going, alright? And I am going to let you go. I've been John Proxim, Tunnel John West. I've been having a Torment Tides of Numenera adventure. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.